one thing I noticed is that if you actually compare Joe Biden from 2019 to 2024, it's even more disturbing to see how much decline has gone on. Again, people like Julian Castro, the Obama world people, were trying to knock Joe out before he became their only choice. And so he was already showing signs of decline, but he at least still sounded somewhat like Joe Biden. Listen to this. This is from 2019.
I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights, and those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
That's from 2019. Now, again, the Obama world people were trying to push him out of the race at this point. That's why they sent Julian Castro after him. And he sounded like that. Now, this is Joe Biden from last week.
To get away with, get rid of the ability of Medicare to, for the ability to, for the...
I did not
2019
oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I oppose.
Joe Biden from 2024.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if you.
This is Joe Biden from 2020.
Who will determine the outcome of this election? Vote, vote, vote. If you're able to vote early in your state, vote early. If you're able to vote in person, vote in person. Vote whatever way is the best way for you, because he cannot stop you.
And I'm going to continue.
Joe Biden from 2024.
We need to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
It's absolutely frightening to hear the difference. In just 4 or 5 years, Joe Biden went from sounding somewhat like Joe Biden to sounding like somebody's, hate to say it, dementia-riddled grandpa, you know? And so there's a lot of cope in the media that lied to us for the last 5 years and covered up his cognitive impairments. I'm hearing a lot of, well, you know, Joe Biden he may not speak well anymore, but at least he tells the truth. Are you serious? Joe Biden's one of the biggest liars to ever in a history of American politics. He lied in the debate. He said no troops have died. He said, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like Trump did. That's false. 16 troops have died in overseas attacks. He said he'd been endorsed by the Border Patrol. That was a lie. The National Border Patrol Council said, right while the debate was happening, to be clear, we never have and never will endorse Joe Biden. Wow. He said black unemployment is the lowest level it's ever been. No, he said it's the lowest level it's ever been at a long time. Last month, it was 6.1%. It was 4.8 a year ago. 5.3 under Trump. He said we brought down the price of prescription drugs to $15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug beginning next year. Under the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act, Medicare enrollees must still pay up to $35 monthly, and seniors and disabled people must fork over as much or more than $2,000 yearly out of pocket starting in 2025. So again, you know, the narratives that the corporate media continue to feed you is no more sycophantic, if that's even a word, anymore, is no less sycophantic, no less dishonest, no less disingenuous, no less credible, and no more credible, should I say, than what you see from North Korea, from China, from Russia. It is State Department propaganda. They lied to you for 5 years about this man's mental state and mental condition, and now that they can't do it anymore, they are trying to dispatch this man in the, I guess, the most gentle way possible. Let me get this caller. Hello, caller.
Okay, yes, sir, Scott.
What's
okay,
up?
I'm listening to your program.
Thank you.
But this is what I would like for you to do. Is there a way that you can deal with this 2025 thing that they're doing?
I just did that last week. I mean, the week before last.
But this thing that this coming supposed to be for next year, this think tank.
Yeah, go to Scott Cannon Radio. Go to Scott Cannon Radio on YouTube.
Okay, I can't do that. I'm blind. I can't do that.
Well, get somebody to do it for you.
Okay, but I mean, but this will be ideal, they saying, for Donald Trump. Because you act like Donald Trump is the cat's meow.
Yeah, again, I spent a half an hour on Project 2025 just two weeks ago.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, you're saying like today, like Donald Trump, everything, Donald Trump never even answered the question. I listened to the debate.
When have I said Donald Trump did anything right?
But I'm just saying the way you're talking today.
All I said was Joe Biden is mentally unfit to be president. He is.
I understand that. But so is Trump.
When did I say he was?
I'm asking you, is Trump?
I mean, Trump is who Trump is.
But I'm asking you.
Let me say this. I would never vote for Donald Trump. I've never voted for Donald Trump. I just spent a half an hour telling you why voting for Trump would be a bad idea 2 weeks ago. If you have anybody in your life who has access to a computer, tell them to go to Scott Cannon Radio. They can play for you my whole Project 2025. I broke it down piece by piece, every part of it, from the abolishment of the Department of Education to abortion to DEI programs. I did all of that just 2 weeks ago.
A lot about the referendum. Is any one of these people that's running for president in for the referendum? And then I'm going to hang up and I'll listen.
What referendum?
I mean, for the referendum for black folks. Is Donald Trump for it? Or is I know you said Biden is not.
Well, none of them support reparations. The only one that supported reparations was Marianne. That's why I played her at the beginning of the show. She was the only one. And again, the Democratic Party cheated her out of the nomination.
Okay, well, they got the convention coming up. I think it is in August, so we'll see.
All right, thanks for calling.
Okay, bye.
Scott Cannon Radio, everybody. Just did the Project 20 full breakdown of Project 2025. I will leave a link for it. Anybody who you can go to Facebook. You can go to Facebook. During the break, I will actually post a link to the video in the Facebook, so you can just go to Facebook and go to my Project 2025. I broke it down to the cuticle. You guys know, if you've been listening to this show at all, I hate the Democrats and the Republicans. I'm not voting for Joe Biden. I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I don't support any of these people whatsoever. They're all white supremacists to me. They all maintain the military-industrial complex. They all helped screw over black people 1,000 ways to Sunday. Joe Biden has written more racist bills than anybody. Donald Trump literally lost a racial discrimination lawsuit for discriminating against black people in his buildings. I refuse to be a massa we sick Democrat or a massa we sick Republican. I refuse for that to be the case. I will not stand for any of these people whatsoever. And so, no, I'm not. But like I said, during the break, I will post a link to my Project 2025 segment from 2 weeks ago. I went piece by piece through all of it and why it is a horrible idea to implement Project 2025. Let me get these callers. Hello, caller.
Hello, Scott. I see you pepped up for me. I know you got call ID, man, so you see the call.
No, I don't have call ID.
Okay, then. Well, listen, man, we ain't going to argue about that. I heard you talking to Miss Cora. You jumped that right down on that call, man, so I know you fired up for me and ready to go. I'm ready for you too, partner. Now, listen, I'm one of them colored people. I'm one of them colored people that you were talking about that was calling you out. You know, I'm going to tell you something, man. Now, listen. Just let me talk, because I know you got the mic. Have your life declined in the past 4 years since this man been up there in the White House?
I haven't noticed any noticeable difference between Biden or Trump. They're the same to me.
Listen, I didn't ask you about Trump. I asked you, I know the difference in people that's up there. I asked you this. I'm not talking about Jesus, that Jesus. I'm talking about the man in charge now. Have your life declined? Have your parents' life, have your grandmama's Social Security check got clipped? Now, that's what I'm asking.
I just told you my life is exactly the same.
No, okay. No, you didn't. You didn't answer that then, okay?
Yeah, I said my life is exactly the same as it was under Trump.
No,
and all their lives are too.
I don't know what planet that you exist on.
let me just say this. I pay a lot more. Let me just say this. I pay a lot more when I go to the grocery store every week. I pay a lot more than I paid before we agitated this war with Russia in 2022. I've talked about here very often. I used to pay $7.99 for some hamburger patties. Those same hamburger patties are not $12.99. Oatmeal, eggs, everything. I pay a lot more now thanks to inflation that I've been paying.
You can talk after me. You can expound that after me.
Okay, well, you asked, has my life changed? That's how my life has changed.
You let me talk, man.
You asked me a question. You asked me a question.
Okay, then. You cut it off then, because I know you lose your thread of thought. You lose your thread of talk when you be talking. I done heard you lose your thread of talk. Okay? Now, listen. You should join Costco or Sam Club if you're paying too much then, son. Know how to be a proactive shopper, okay? If you're paying too much for your oatmeal, join the Costco. That's what you do. You don't keep going to where you're paying more money. Now, let me say what I'm going to say, all right? Now, I'm one of them colored folks. I'm one of them darkies, okay? Now, listen to me. You're hearing it from a darkie, okay? Now, when you said this, Kamala Harris, okay, now do you think that they didn't want a black man, so-called mixed heritage man, Barack Jesus Obama, to be president? Do you honestly think that they would let a black woman, which you came out of a black woman if you were the 10th baby, would you think that they would let that woman, with all of the brains she got,
brains?
Anything?
The only brains Kamala Harris got.
Hold on.
Right,
we know when President Reagan was up there, he was in decline. They didn't say nothing about that. They were leading him around like a 3-year-old baby. All right?
Yes.
But they didn't say nothing about that.
That was wrong.
All right? Let me wait a minute, man, because I know how you is with this. I'm trying to wrap this up as quick as possible because I know how you is. Okay? Now you know Ernie Hudson.
What happened?
Do you know Ernie Hudson?
Yeah, from the Ghostbusters, right?
All right. He was born in 1945. He's 78 years old. He's a year older than Donald Trump. Go look at the specimen of a man. You see him on the BTA, but the BT show that they got, right? You done seen Ernie Hudson, right?
I know who Ernie Hudson is.
Well, then, what you need to do is to go and see him on BET. He has a show on there. He's a well put together man. All right. Now you look at him and look at Donald Trump. That man compared to him, he looks like he's 40 years younger than him, and he's 1 year older. Okay.
Black don't crack.
Wait. You said what now?
I said black don't crack.
No, I don't want to hear that. It breaks too. Everything breaks. Okay? You can say black don't crack, but black breaks up under stress, son. A pipe busts under stress. Now let me tell you this right here. You know, you seem to know it all. You get your news from outer space. You got other people that you deal with. And I know you deal with them because I done heard you. See, I can put threads together. I know when people have conversations after shows with each other. You work with people, very people there, good people that's in that same generation as Trump. Do you see any decline in, I'm saying the word not quite right, but do you see any decline in the way that they sign your check or open up that place to give you a job?
No.
Okay, then. So listen, this man might stumble, and you've been on that for forever. You've been against this situation. I don't care what. He could have gave us a 40 acres and a mule, a John Deere tractor. He could have gave us everything. You'd have found fault in that. You'd have said that he should have gave us some shoes to pull up our bootstraps. Enough is never enough when you're a hater. You are a hater. Now, if you want to hang up and clip this call, you could do it. But I done called you out, son.
Yeah, okay, whatever. This is what Joe Biden had to say when asked about the black-white wealth divide in this country. He said black people need to play records for our children.
About inequality in schools and race. In a conversation about how to deal with segregation in schools back in 1975, you told a reporter, "I don't feel responsible for the sins of my father and grandfather. I feel responsible for what the situation is today, for the sins of my own generation, and I'll be damned if I feel responsible to pay for what happened 300 years ago." You said that some 40 years ago. But as you stand here tonight, what responsibility do you think that Americans need to take to repair the legacy of slavery in our country?
Well, they have to deal with look, there is institutional segregation in this country. And from the time I got involved, I started dealing with that. Redlining, banks, making sure that we are in a position where, look, we talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple the amount of money we spend, from $15 to $45 billion a year. Give every single teacher a raise to the equal raise of getting out the $60,000 level. Number two, make sure that we bring in to help the teachers deal with the problems that come from home. The problems that come from home, we have one school psychologist for every 1,500 kids in America today. It's crazy. The teachers are retired. I'm married to a teacher. My deceased wife is a teacher. They have every problem coming to them. We have to make sure that every single child does, in fact, have 3-, 4-, and 5-year-olds go to school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
Make sure the kids hear words. Not one point. I'm not a hater of any of these people. Like I said, I don't vote for any of them. I don't support none of them. I vote for the candidates who will support the things that I care about. You heard me just give a flowers to Marianne Williamson at the beginning of the show. She was cheated out of having an opportunity to be the Democratic nominee by the corporate wing of the Democratic Party. She would have ran circles around Donald Trump. And look, Marianne Williamson is, I think, 70-some years old herself. But listen to her and listen to Joe Biden. My criticism of Joe Biden has never been that he's too old in chronologically. I'm sure Ernie Hudson is still smart. Bernie Sanders is still cogent. Even Donald Trump sounds like Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't sound any different than Donald Trump has ever sounded. He sounds like the moron that he's always been. But obviously, Joe Biden has declined. Obviously. I've played audio evidence for you guys over the radio. Anybody with a brain in their head can see Joe Biden ain't the same Joe Biden that he was as the vice president under Barack Obama. That's common sense, folks. You got to decolonize your minds, folks. Stop letting the corporate liberal media lead you around. Be independent from these media sources and from these political parties. Do not let them trap black people into any shotgun marriages here. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to get into our housing market's on fire. I told you guys a few years ago, don't sell your homes. I was right. We'll be right back after these.